CTV News at 5 with Tony Rima and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us on this Friday. Tony is off. 2 people have died in a crash near Thunder Bay. It happened just before 9 last night on Highway 1117 between Highway 130 and Highway 588. Police say 2 passenger vehicles were involved. 2 women, 23 and 28 years old, were pronounced dead at the scene. 2 other people were taken to hospital with minor injuries. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. A traffic stop in Mattawa led to several charges being laid for defects to a commercial vehicle. Tuesday, OPP pulled over a vehicle for speeding. The officer noticed loose and missing wheel fasteners, which is a major defect and could lead to the wheel coming off. The OPP says MTO enforcement found several other mechanical and safety issues, including not having a speed limiting system. The 55-year-old driver has been issued several offenses. The Earlton-based company responsible for the vehicle is also facing charges. It's time now for your first check on weather, and we definitely saw some flurries moving through the region this afternoon. But let's talk about those dropping temperatures. Let's bring in CTV's Rick Wyman. Rick, I know I probably won't like this answer, but how cold is it going to get this weekend? It'll be real cold. It might be the best time, the best opportunity for you, Amanda, to take the polar plunge at Ramsey Lake if you could ever find a gap in the ice, because let me tell you, it'll be cold this evening with the wind chill. We'll get into some of those numbers shortly. Your systems map brought to you by CAA. Get your membership today at caa.ca. The temperature is falling as we speak. Wind chill also into effect. We'll take a look at the current temperatures just after 6 o'clock this evening, but it will be a cold one. Sunny and cold tomorrow, not as drastic as overnight, but we will have some sunshine coming up. So details just minutes away with the 5-day forecast. Thanks for that, Rick. Timmins-Rouyn, Noranda have made a commitment to forge closer economic ties between the 2 municipalities. Mayors from both provinces have already met in person, and soon economic development officers will define a framework. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
With some leaders around the world vying for greater control, the mayors of Timmins and Rouyn-Noranda are planning to work together in ways that would benefit both.
You know, why not just look the other side of the border? They're only 2.5 hours away from us, and so we know that a lot of our residents are going, into the neighboring municipality for different things like shopping, to visit with family and friends. There's a historic relationship between our communities, and so what better time than now to see how we can push that a little bit further.
Rouyn-Noranda's Mayor Gilles Chappeau recently visited Timmins to attend the Mayor's State of the City luncheon and meet with business leaders.
I think we have a lot in common in terms of culture, and when we think about that, Mark Carney is saying to try to have an exchange with other country, and it's difficult to have exchange between 2 provinces, and I think we have to find a way.
The mayor says several businesses in both cities already have established relationships, and they say collaborations could also be developed in areas of education and social issues. Below plans to meet with Chappeau next week in Quebec.
And then from that point, our economic development teams will start to develop a framework and some actionable items for us to start working on.
I like to work with her. Really dynamic.
Both mayors suggest the municipalities share similar strengths, particularly in the mining sector, and see this commitment as an opportunity to contribute to Canada's critical minerals strategy. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
A West Nipissing man is fighting to stay in his tiny shed he built on his property. But as CTV's Eric Tashner reports, the building is not to code, forcing the municipality to act.
The new water line came in.
John Ridge feels the most safe and secure in this 15 by 15 foot shed he built on his property because he suffers from seizures.
It's actually more dangerous to have a bigger house.
He bought the land in 2022 after a house on it burned down. It has heat, water, and electricity. But problems with the municipality arose in the fall after officials discovered the unit doesn't meet several building code standards, which he has issues with.
Part of the problem is you're taking apples and oranges, where you're taking this really small space and trying to compare it to a 2.5-story house with an attic and a basement, and that just really isn't comparable.
Ridge says he's been told there's not enough insulation, it needs 4-foot footing foundation, and the drainage pipe vent is not long enough. Ridge did connect the drainage pipe from the remnants of the burned down home to the shed.
But my vent is only about 32 inches and it has to be 42 inches. So I'm going to add that.
Another issue is that the building has a permit for a shed and not a tiny home. The municipality is threatening eviction by padlocking the door if he can't get it to meet the building code.
We're bound by provincial legislation, national legislation when it comes to Building Code Act, and that is in place for the protection of the actual resident, the liability of the municipality.
In response, a neighbor parked an RV in his driveway for him to live in. But a bylaw in place doesn't allow for that either.
In his meeting with me yesterday, he reassured me that he's going to be vacating the property and trying to make other arrangements.
The municipality says it has no intention to oust people during the cold months, but stresses people need to understand building codes and permits.
Right from the hop, if they are honest with the municipality, we will do our level best to assist them as best as we can with providing a roadmap on all of the rules.
A meeting has been scheduled between both parties on Monday to try and come to a resolution. In the end, Ridge just wants to live in the unit he's been living in for 3.5 years in peace.
I'm prepared pretty much to stay here.
But that's all contingent on what he can do to fix it up to meet the standards. Eric Tashner, CTV News, West Nipissing.
The Northern Ontario Farm Innovation Alliance, known as NOFIA, is hosting an agricultural conference in Sudbury. Over 150 farmers and business representatives are taking part and say there are growing agricultural opportunities in our region. CTV's Elaine Everson reports.
It's a 2-day conference to share ideas and information about innovations in agriculture in Northern Ontario.
It's a growing industry for sure. Like we're developing more and more land every year, and we're growing better and better crops. And a lot of that has to do with tile drainage, of course.
Norman Cook farms 12,000 acres in the Timmins-Rouyn region, growing several different cash crops.
It's a great opportunity for land being developed, more land, more agriculture. As Southern Ontario land gets used for other purposes than agriculture, construction, roads, housing, that's needed.
A local MPP says as a result of tile drainage, we are seeing an increase in agriculture production in Northern Ontario.
What was never available to happen in the north, growing soybeans, canola, black beans, that's all going to be available to us. And as we develop that further, it's great news for the farmer.
And it takes away, the water and prevents flooding if we get these big downpours like we've been experiencing in the last couple of years.
Another topic at the conference is AI, helping farmers understand the emerging technology and its possible uses in agriculture. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
It's time now for a quick break. Coming up on CTV News at 5, Rick has your full weather forecast. But first, let's head just southwest of Wawa and check out the harbor front. There's more news ahead. Stay with us.
Don't forget to get in the game. 5 at the 5. Win a VIP experience for 5 people. Not 4, not 3, not 2, not 1, but 5. That game coming up Thursday, February 19th, 7 o'clock against Newfoundland. Enter online, CTV NorthernOntario.ca. I hosted it last year with Ian Campbell. it's a riot. Let's check out our forecast radar. Courtesy of Environment Canada, off and on some squalls and flurries for today. Now it's going to get cold, real cold tonight and overnight. Sunny and cold for tomorrow. Then the warm up on Sunday. So after all, it is Super Bowl Sunday, so it's got to warm up. Let's get to our temperatures and you'll see for yourself. Sudbury Nickel Belt, wake up minus 33 wind chill tomorrow. Sunny and minus 13 Sunday. We've got chance of flurries Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Minus 9, minus 6, even up to minus 5 degrees Wednesday for your daytime high. How about Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma? Wind chill minus 30 tomorrow, mainly sunny. Minus 9 on Sunday, some sun and cloud. Chance of flurries 3 consecutive days. Minus 3 on Tuesday, I like that. Minus 4 on Wednesday. So we will see a warming trend. A low pressure system will move in. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, wind chill tomorrow morning, minus 36. We've got some sunshine on Sunday, minus 14. Then the warm up, minus 9 on Monday, minus 7 Tuesday, minus 8 degrees on Wednesday as well. All 3 days with the chance of flurries. Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake. Chance of flurries, wind chill tomorrow morning, minus 33, minus 15 on Sunday with the sunshine. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we've got flurries and periods of snow come Wednesday, the warmest day, minus 6 degrees coming up by Wednesday of next week. So there is a warming trend. We've got cold tonight, cold tomorrow. Then we see the warming trend settle into northeastern Ontario. North Bay, West Nipissing, wind chill minus 33, mainly cloudy skies for tomorrow in North Bay, West Nipissing. Then it starts to warm up. Sunday, we've got some sunshine, minus 13. How about minus 9 Monday, chance of flurries? Minus 5 degrees on Tuesday, 60% chance of flurries. That's a pretty good bet for a lot of activity. And periods of snow come next Wednesday. The temperature going all the way up to minus 4 degrees. So Amanda, you got to get through tonight. It's going to be cold. It's going to be cold tomorrow when you wake up, and then we'll start to see the warm up gradually into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So it will change for the better. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Rick. Gova Transit in Sudbury will officially launch its Gova Pass mobile app in March. As part of ongoing efforts to modernize transit, new fare boxes were installed at the beginning of 2025. The Gova Pass app lets riders securely purchase and store bus passes on their smartphone, with added features of real-time bus schedules and arrivals all in one place.
It's going to be a one-stop shop in terms of ease of access and using transit. And we're hoping that we see an uptick in terms of those that choose to use transit. Because if the barrier today to using transit is having to go in and buy a card, or, you know, I don't have small denomination of money, I can have that on my phone and choose to use transit at my leisure. And it's simple and efficient. So again, at the end of the day, we're really excited about that accessibility.
If you pay with cash, not to worry, that will still be an option on transit. And later this spring, Gova Transit will introduce the reloadable Gova Pass Smart Card for those that prefer a physical card. Public Health Sudbury and Districts is looking to learn more about ageism experiences in the area. A new survey can be found on their website, and officials say people living in the area who are 18 years old are welcome to participate. Ageism is described as someone being treated unfairly because of their age.
Ageism is one of these factors that have a huge impact on individuals' health. It can impact you at any age. We have lots of national stats on ageism and how many people or what percentage of the population experiences ageism, but we don't have those local stats or data to show if ageism is a prevalent problem here in Sudbury and across our service area.
The survey will be available on Public Health's website until April 30th and will take respondents 5 to 10 minutes to complete. Coming up on CTV News at 5, Rastal's hockey this week. Plus, the athletes in our region that will be in the Olympics.
Hockey This Week is brought to you by Rastall Nut and Bolt Company. I'm Rick Wyman for Hockey This Week. It's get-together weekend in the Ontario Hockey League for the Sudbury Wolves as they play 3 games, including a pair against former teammates who were recently traded. In Sudbury later on this evening, the Wolves host the Windsor Spitfires and the return of Nathan Villeneuve and Alex Ferrand. Yes, we know a lot about these guys. You could expect a lot of family and friends to see Ferrand from Greater Sudbury, while Villeneuve has ties to the Ottawa area, and his family is expected to see the former captain in action against his former teammates. Now, just last night, the Spitfires dropped a 5-4 shootout in North Bay, where both Ferrand and Villeneuve had points with 1 assist apiece. And you know there will be a lot of emotion on the ice, as both will be acknowledged in a pre-game ceremony by the Wolves. Villeneuve, by the way, came up short in a shootout opportunity. Now, the Wolves are 4-5-1 in their last 10 games and have played better hockey against the upper echelon of teams in the Eastern and Western Conference. Go figure. They play great hockey against the best, not so great hockey against teams that are mediocre or kind of middling in that conference. Sudbury is also trying to fend off 9th place Brampton, who are just 3 points back of a playoff spot. Tomorrow night, the Wolves venture to Peterborough to play Kieran Walton and the Petes in a game that's very important for both teams. Walton had 2 goals, including the winner in overtime, as the Petes beat Owen Sound last night and was also named the game's first star. Walton now has 32 goals on the season and is sorely missed offensively by the Wolves. The Petes, meanwhile, are just 5 up on surging North Bay, who sit 5th in the conference. Sunday, the Wolves play Oshawa in a rare matinee due to the Super Bowl. Games are normally scheduled for just after 6 in Oshawa, but it is Super Bowl Sunday, Seattle against New England, in the big game that begins, oddly enough, at 6:30. For Hockey This Week, I'm Rick Wyman. We're back in 7 days with more.
Last night, the North Bay Battalion hosted a nail-biter against the Windsor Spitfires as they tied it up late in the third. Overtime would solve nothing, but the shootout would. Troops win 5-4. The Spitfires will be looking for redemption tonight as they land in the Nickel City to take on the Sudbury Wolves. Game time is 7:05. The Sioux Greyhounds will host the Flint Firebirds at the GFL Memorial Gardens tonight. Game time there is 7:07. And there's 4 games on tap in the NOJHL tonight. The Powassan Voodoos are on the road in Noelville to take on the French River Rapids tonight, while the Hearst Lumberjacks will play host to the Timmins-Rouyn. Both games are 7 o'clock starts. The Kirkland Lake Gold Miners will be digging for a win against the Sioux Eagles in Michigan tonight, and the Sioux Thunderbirds are in Espanola to take on the Paper Kings. Puck drop for those games is 7:30. The opening ceremonies for the Milano Cortina Olympic Winter Games were today. Among the athletes competing are 5 from Northern Ontario. In men's curling, Brad Jacobs led Team Canada as the skip. Jacobs is from Sault Ste. Marie and is hunting for his 2nd Olympic gold medal. Jacobs and Team Canada won gold in 2014 at the Sochi Winter Games. On the ladies' side is Tracy Fleury. She got a huge send-off last week from fans in her hometown of Sudbury before she headed to her first Olympic Winter Games. This might be her first Olympics, but she's a highly decorated curler, including 11 Grand Slam championships. Fleury will play 3rd for skip Rachel Holman. Shiloh Russo made the Canadian biathlete team just weeks ago after the IBU World Cup in Germany, where she placed 21st in the pursuit and 26th in the sprint, her highest World Cup ranking since her debut in 2024. This will also be Russo's Olympic debut. From Parry Sound, the high-flying Megan Oldham will compete in freestyle skiing. Oldham competed in the Beijing Winter Olympics in 2022, finishing just off the podium in 4th in the Big Air competition. Oldham finished 5th in Big Air and took home a bronze medal in slopestyle at World Competition last year. She will certainly be one to watch. And lastly, from Thunder Bay, cross-country skier Max Hallman is also set to make his debut. He won the 2026 10K Olympic qualifier to cement his spot on Team Canada recently. Hallman had major success on the world stage in 4x5K mixed relay in 2023, where he and Team Canada won gold at the World Juniors. Good luck to all of our local athletes. When we return, your community close-up. You're watching First at 5. Our first community close-up takes us to North Bay. Gail sent in this photo of her dog Millie enjoying the snow with her favorite toy. Dog photos are always a fan favorite of mine. Thanks for that, Gail. And wow, take a look at these shots. Sherry Ashley from South River sent us these stellar photos of her daughter's recent visit to the grotto in Bruce Peninsula National Park. She says it's fascinating seeing how the weather changes nature's landscape. So very true. Thanks so much. And finally, Eve Garber sent us this picture and video of the fireworks that kicked off the Walden Winter Carnival last night. Just stunning. Thanks for that, Eve. And finally for us tonight, as we just mentioned, residents from the Walden area gathered outside the TM Davies Community Center last night to begin the long-standing Walden Winter Carnival. Community members kicked off the celebration as they always do with a bonfire burning. Families donated Christmas trees before fireworks officially commenced the 4-day weekend of fun in the Walden area. According to organizers, the weekend will have inflatables, axe throwing, and more, totaling over 100 activities, promising something for everyone.
Look at the great community spirit, and we're outside in Northern Ontario in the wintertime, and people are out having a wonderful time, and it's just silly, the first day of the carnival. And then once the kids get doing the activities, you just see them light up like bright lights. It just creates a wonderful spirit, and we couldn't do it without the support of the whole community.
Everhart is grateful to the volunteers and committee who planned and organized the event, along with the volunteer firefighters who kept everyone warm last night with the bonfire. And there's more news for the North coming up at 6. For now, continue watching as we hand things over to CTV National News.